Okay, so I want to show you a simple weekend project that is going to completely change how you water your garden forever. Seriously, we're going to build a system that makes your plants resilient to this crazy, unpredictable weather, saves you a ton of time, and slashes your water waste. Sound good? Let's get into it. So, what if I told you that your trusty garden sprinkler, yep, that thing, might be wasting this much water? 90%. I mean, that's just an insane figure, right? Most of the water you're spraying into the air on a summer day literally never even makes it to the roots where it's needed. It just, poof, evaporates. It is time for a much, much smarter approach. And really, that new approach, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. We've got to shift our thinking. We need to stop watering the garden and start watering the plants, and more specifically, their roots. It's a fundamental change, but trust me, it leads to a way healthier, more efficient garden. And look, this isn't just my idea. This insight comes from a horticultural consultant named Graeme Farrer, who basically argues that in our changing climate, the old ways of doing things, they just don't cut it anymore. He calls standard watering a double failure. And honestly, when you see why, it's really hard to argue with him. So what exactly is this double failure he's talking about? Well, it's the idea that top-down watering, with sprinklers and hoses, doesn't just waste a massive amount of water through evaporation, it can also actively harm your plants and, get this, help your weeds. Not great. Now this is where it gets really interesting when you see them side by side. On the left, you've got your sprinklers. We've talked about the massive evaporation waste, but it also encourages shallow-rooted weeds to pop up all over the place. And all those wet leaves? That's just an open invitation for fungal diseases like mildew. But now, look at the right side, drip hydration. Here, water goes directly to the soil. This keeps the surface dry, which weeds absolutely hate. And it encourages your plants to grow these deep, strong, healthy roots. And listen, those deep roots, that is your plant's insurance policy. It's how they find moisture way down below the surface when the weather gets super hot and dry. It's how they build a resilience to not just survive, but to actually thrive. All right, enough about the problem, right? Let's build the solution. Our first focus is getting the structure in place, and the hero of this entire story is the humble and frankly underrated leaky house. And you know what? This is so simple. It's really just 2 steps. First, you just lay these porous, leaky hoses, snaking them around the base of the plants you really care about. Second, and this is the crucial part, you make the stealth move, you bury that hose under a couple of inches of mulch. So why is burying the hose the secret sauce here? Well, this is the magic. By covering it with mulch, you create this amazing protective barrier. The sun literally never even touches the water, which means you get pretty much zero evaporation. But it's more than that. The water just slowly seeps directly into the soil, creating this consistently moist, cool environment right at the roots. That stable condition is absolute heaven for all the healthy microbes that help feed your plants, basically turning your soil into a living, thriving ecosystem. Okay, so laying the hose is a great first step, but the real goal here is to make this system work for you. So let's move on to our second focus and see how we can automate this whole thing for 2 massive wins. All right, win number 1 is just brilliant. If you have a rainwater butt that's even slightly elevated, you can run this entire system on gravity alone. That means no pumps, no electricity, 0 running costs. It's free water. And then there's win number 2. You attach a simple battery-operated timer. This is where the system goes from being smart to being an absolute genius. Because that little timer lets you water at the absolute perfect time. And yeah, you're seeing that right, 4 in the morning. Why then? Well, because the air is cool, it's still, and most importantly, your soil is relaxed. Think of your soil like a dry sponge. In the heat of the day, it's all tight and crusty, right? Water just kind of beads up and runs off. But in the cool of the pre-dawn hours, it's soft and ready to soak up every single drop, pulling that water deep into the root zone with maximum efficiency. Your plants get a long, satisfying drink, and you get to sleep in. So, we've built this super efficient, automated system. Now for the fun part. Let's talk about the payoff. What does this actually mean for some of the most popular and, let's be honest, thirstiest plants in our gardens? And this just illustrates the results perfectly. Okay, let's take raspberries. Steady water at the roots means you get big, plump, juicy berries, not dried out little things. And no wet foliage means no gray mold.
Or what about hydrangeas? You know how they get so dramatic and droopy in the heat? This is the difference between sad, wilting flower heads and gorgeous, vibrant blooms all day long. And tomatoes. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. It solves that dreaded blossom end rot. That rot is actually a calcium problem, and it happens because the plant can't absorb calcium without consistent water. This system gives them that steady supply, fixing the problem at its source. It's a direct solution for some of gardening's biggest headaches.
And what's really crucial to get here is that this project, it's about way more than just pipes and water. It's about shifting your entire mindset from seeing watering as this constant, annoying chore to seeing yourself as a clever designer of a truly resilient system. It really all comes back to that core message from Graeme Farrer. This should be the mantra of every resilient gardener. Focus your efforts where they have the absolute most impact. And believe me, the rest will take care of itself. And that really leaves us with one final thought for you. After seeing how simple and how incredibly effective this system can be, the question really is, which role do you want to play in your garden? Are you going to keep being the human sprinkler, just reacting to the heat and wasting water? Or are you ready to become a resilient designer, creating a beautiful garden that thrives no matter what the weather decides to throw at it?